thrown around a lot these days, but the meaning can shift based on who's using it. So we're going to get a definition here. We welcome psychologist Lisa Rowbottom for some help. So this has made its way into sort of common nomenclature, but it's important to know what we're talking about here. So Lisa, what is gaslighting?
So the term gaslighting, it actually originates from a film in the 1930s, if you believe it or not.
Okay.
And it was developed to refer to someone in that particular film who was trying to convince the other person that they're losing their mind.
Okay.
And so when a person, would say a person is gaslighting, they're attempting a manipulation. So they're trying to use it as a method of control.
I see. Consciously using it as a method of control, or unconsciously?
Generally consciously. Sometimes it's such a habitual part of a person's communication that they don't realize that they're doing it after a while, but usually it's a conscious effort, yes.
Now, what's the importance of knowing the definition of gaslighting when we're using that word?
Because it gets tossed around a lot, and when a person has been a victim of actual gaslighting, they struggle for a very long time. It can take sometimes years to dig them out of the reliance on the other person who's dictating their reality. And when we take the term and we start using it in just our day-to-day, like, oh, you're gaslighting me, it starts to become, well, you're disagreeing with me, which is not what it is at all. But it kind of trivializes the word, and then people who actually are in those positions, they don't have a language or anything to say, like, this is what's happened to me and I'm a mess.
Right. But even just introducing an idea that you didn't know, sometimes people say, well, that's gaslighting me because I didn't know that was a thing, which is not how we use that word. So for people, this is a dangerous thing for people who are victims of gaslighting. How do we identify that perhaps this is happening to us?
So generally, when you are experiencing gaslighting, you actually don't realize it because it's a manipulation. And it's not a disagreement. So generally, if somebody is gaslighting you, they're going to start with something that sounds like a disagreement, but then they're going to follow up with, oh, you know, nobody would think that but you. Everybody else understands that I'm right, and you're just crazy. But, you know, everybody knows that you're crazy. That's just how it is. Remember when such and such did. And so they'll use the words to convince you your interpretation of reality is wrong, and that they're the one who actually understands. And it will twist it around so you're now coming to that person to get them to tell you what's real and what isn't.
Okay. That can be a dangerous slope. So how do we break that cycle? How does someone intervene to interrupt that?
So usually it's somebody external, so a friend or a therapist or, you know, someone in your life who's able to see your relationship from a more external view or discuss the relationship with you. You may start to realize it gradually if you find yourself constantly backing down or doubting things that you knew happened. And so, you know, it could be, well, I knew that the sun came up this morning, and your partner's telling you, or, you know, whoever is gaslighting you is telling you you're wrong, it didn't. And if you find that you're stuck in this illogical space where you're like, well, no, I remember that happening. I know that happened, but I'm not sure because, you know, my partner's telling me this is what happened and I'm always wrong. And so if you find yourself in that space, then it's something to question. And if you get a really uncomfortable feeling and you lose all your confidence around somebody, then that's also potentially a sign.
Okay. Lisa, we appreciate you coming in and sort of giving us that definition, hopefully kind of erasing things from the everyday speak and helping those who need it. Thank you for always coming in, for giving us this advice. If you'd like to know more about Lisa, you can check out Sojourn Psychology at sojo.ca.